This is the no BS guide going from 30% body fat to 10% body fat, especially if you're over the age of 40. And heck, even if you're in your 50s, and I know it's going to sound crazy, but even if you're approaching 60 or in your 60s, because the truth of the matter is all of this stuff is going to work no matter how old you are, assuming you're ready to shift your systems and actually have a system that works specifically for you, and you stop chasing all these other systems that are built for the masses and they're cookie cutter and they actually never work most of the time. All right. So this is everything I would do to ensure that you have a game plan to go from 30% to 10%. No BS, just right to it. So let's just start with the first thing. All right. Let's get the pillars in place. The first pillar is your muscle pillar. We have to think about muscle differently than maybe what you've thought of muscle as before. Most people think muscle and they think, I don't want to look too big, or I'm too old to build muscle, or I'm worried about throwing my back out. I'm worried about all sorts of stuff, right? And I get it, but here's the deal. You can train for muscle no matter how old you are. And that should be the point of training. When we go in the gym, the whole idea is we're there to either build muscle, maintain muscle, or build more strength or maintain strength, because muscle is your youth source. It's the fountain of youth. It's going to fight off all sorts of illness, disease. It's going to keep your metabolism going at a really, really solid rate. It's going to help you lose fat. And most importantly, when you do trim off the fat, as we're going to do, cutting from 30% to 10%, you're going to look awesome. So let's just figure out what the game plan is. The game plan is this. We got to find exercises that are safe that you can get stronger on. Train our entire body. Okay. We're going to train all the body parts. We're going to train the body parts that make you look good. And we're not going to ignore the things that keep you healthy, like your glutes, for example. If you're a guy out there and you're combing the internet, you're probably not searching for how to build a bigger butt, right? Maybe you are. And if you are, cool. But at the end of the day, the glutes get ignored, and that leads to back pain, that leads to knee pain. We ignore our core, we ignore our calves, we ignore our rear delts, the back of our shoulder. So we're going to train all those muscles, but we're not going to spend an enormous time in the gym. We're going to start by having 3 days a week of strength training. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And we're going to put an emphasis on getting stronger. So we're going to work in the 4 to 10 rep range. And how many sets will be determined by your training experience. This is something we can help you build inside our True Transformation First Class program, where we take a new approach to getting you in the best shape of your life, feeling shirt off shredded, feeling confident in who you are. If you want to learn all about it, you can check out the description below. But sets typically start around like 2 sets per exercise, 4 to 8 reps, 4 to 10 reps. And we add volume as time allows or as needed. The split that I like could look something like this. You could do push day, chest, shoulders, triceps, pull day, back, biceps, rear delts, traps, and then legs on day 3. You could do upper body day 1, lower body day 2, full body day 3. There's no right or wrong here, as long as we're getting enough stimulation and enough volume to actually see some muscle growth, or at least maintain your strength. We need about 3 to 6 sets of 4 to 10 reps most of the time for most body parts. So think about hitting most body parts doesn't require that you do 2 exercises or 3 exercises per body part, because some exercises are going to cover multiple body parts. For example, incline dumbbell press for your chest. You're going to get some front delt work for your shoulder. You're going to get some tricep work for your tricep. And then, of course, a ton of work for your chest, okay? So we're not going to get into the weeds on training programs here, but the first pillar that we're going to knock out to go from 30% to 10% is your muscle building pillar. What days of the week are you going to train? If you can train 4 days a week, cool. If you can train 5 days a week, cool. If that's your thing, awesome. 6 days a week, great. There's nothing wrong with any of these splits, but what I recommend for most guys that I work with who are super busy, run big companies, or work in high-level jobs, and they just don't have all the time in the world because they have families, they have social life, blah, blah, blah. You get it, right? 3 days a week is a good start. Okay. But we're not going to use workouts to burn a bunch of calories. Okay. So we're not going to go in the gym and try to sweat ourselves to death. We're not going to go in the gym and try to do circuit training and running around like a crazy person doing CrossFit or whatever. Okay. That doesn't work most of the time. All that really does is, it burns calories, not an enormous amount, not as much as you might think. But what it doesn't do is send a muscle building or muscle maintenance signal to your body. It sends a anaerobic or aerobic conditioning signal, which is just going to get you better at doing circuits. It's not going to make you look the way you want to look typically. What we're going to do to burn the fat is we're going to talk about the next pillar, which is the next 2 pillars, actually, one of which is movement. Okay. So one of the first things we do when a new person joins our team and they're like, hey, I want to be healthy physically, mentally, spiritually. I want to lead my family. I want to level up. I'm sick and tired of everybody telling me I suck. I need a team that believes in me. That's who we are, True Transformation. If you want to check us out, check out the links in the description below. But what a lot of people forget is that we got to shift some ways of thinking, okay? But I want to get guys quick wins when they join our program. So one of the first things we do is we build out a movement-based lifestyle. Sounds pretty cool, but really all it is looking at our day-to-day and going, how can I just build more movement into my normal routine? How can I just simply move more frequently throughout the day? Give you a couple examples. So, doing Zoom calls, could we set up a standing desk as step one? So we're standing, we're moving a little more, that burns more calories. Could we add to that by having a walking pad underneath the desk that allows us to walk at a very slow pace while we're doing busy work? Could we listen to meetings while we walk? Could we take our kids out and play with them in the playground and move around a little more? Could we take our wife out on date night and part of the date night is going for a walk together? There's just so many ways. It's honestly an endless list of ways to build more movement into your day. But all this is really going to do, give you more mental clarity, okay? Because move more, you just feel better mentally. Going to give you more time to be creative, more time to think, more time to be just the high level person that you are. But when it comes to fat loss and losing from 30% to 10%, we're burning more calories. And this adds up massively over time. Can't tell you how many guys I've worked with that have come in our program, and the one main thing that we changed right out of the gate was just moving more, and all of a sudden they start dropping body fat. They don't have to cut calories, they're just burning more calories and using the food that they're eating more efficiently, and all of a sudden they start getting lean. That's the second thing. Now, movement and muscle are the two workout things. And notice I didn't tell you, you got to go in the gym and do the step mill for an hour. You got to go run, a 10K every day or do 75 hard and do 2 workouts a day. Like, none of that's necessary. We're trying to play the long game here. Okay. The long game that is lifestyle based. Okay. Let's talk about the third pillar. Then we're going to talk about like more detailed advanced stuff. So stay tuned for a few major game changers coming up here in a second. How much should you walk? A lot of people are going to tell you 10,000 steps a day. It's not a bad number. In fact, I love 10,000 steps a day. I think it's great. Personally, when I'm dead serious about getting ripped, it's 12 to 15,000 steps a day. That's just that next level. I know it's harder. I know you're gonna have to be more proactive. I know you're gonna have to walk more frequently. You're gonna have to take a quick lunch and then go for a walk. Like, you're gonna have to do these things, but I promise you it's worth it. All right. I promise you it'll be worth the return on that investment. The third thing is meals. I want to help you buy back your time here. If you're a successful person, the last thing you want is a whole nother checklist of things you got to do every day. Get in shape, right? Because you're like, dude, I only have so much time. Couple of things. I don't think you're gonna need to track your calories and weigh out all your food. If you want to do that inside of our program, we give that as an option. If you want to have education around how to properly set up your macros and track your macros, we give you all of your customization around that. You can learn about it in the description below. But here's the thing. I think long-term, the best strategy is to have meals that add up to the calories and the protein and the nutrients that you need, that you can eat at restaurants, that you can have at home, that, the family likes, that you like. Everybody's happy. The problem is guys just get caught up in the nonsense around nutrition. They get caught up in this restrictive scarcity mindset of, oh, I can't have carbs if I want to get ripped. Oh, I can't have sugar if I want to get ripped. Oh, I can't eat at night if I want to get ripped. The truth of the matter is, you can have all the foods you love in moderation, of course. Sometimes not moderation, right? Like, we have our clients go on vacation, eat what they want. Bottom line is, you got to have your calories and your protein dialed in. So the way we do that without having to track calories is we build meal rotations that can either be delivered to you automatically from a meal prep company, a food prep service like a chef or like a local person who makes food and just puts it in Tupperware or whatever, delivers it to you already portioned out, or we order from restaurants that the portions are the same pretty much every time, or it's like ultra simple home-based meal prep that you and your spouse can do together, or just meals that are so quick that don't really require any meal prep. So what I'm leading to here is it's going to save you hours of your time and also the brain power of having to think about what meals do I need to be eating? How do I portion it out? Like, this all can be handled like within a couple days of joining our program or just having the right coach to walk you through how to do this. So all of a sudden, you're dropping weight every week. All of a sudden you feel confident. All of a sudden you believe in the process. All of a sudden you're like, holy crap, this whole time it was just a few steps from me being where I want to be from a fat loss perspective. Once we have that set up, and once again, you don't need to eat 6 meals a day. You can eat at night. You don't have to eat breakfast. You can fast. Move to this now. One advanced tip that I think could make a huge mental difference for you that I would do if I was going from 30% to 10% again. Kick the whole process off with a mental exercise, which is a longer fast. Could start with a 16-hour fast, could start with a 24-hour fast, you could start with a 36-hour fast. And if you're super nuts, you could do a 48-hour fast to start. No food, just water, black coffee, calorie-free drinks, okay? Electrolytes throughout the day, maybe a little bit of bone broth after you get through the first 24 hours, but this is going to get you mentally dialed in. And then, yeah, you're going to start dropping fat rapidly when you're not eating food, of course. But it's a good way to start because it's a really difficult thing for a lot of people. So you get the really hard stuff out of the way, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, now I can go back to eating relatively normal, obviously controlling calories, obviously controlling meals, all that kind of stuff. But the normal now feels so much easier, right? The calorie deficit now feels so much easier. So don't have to do that. But I think it's a good mental exercise to start your transformation, right? To start going from 30% to 10%. Other thing I would do is I would bookend phases of no alcohol. What does that look like? So right now I'm in the midst of a 40-day challenge for my 40th birthday this year. It's 2025 when I'm recording this, doing 40 fitness challenges before October of 2025, 4 per month for 10 months. Okay. One of the first ones I'm doing is 40 days of no alcohol. I'm on day 2. I'm not a huge drinker. This is going to be really easy for me, but it's a mental exercise. 40 days, like no casual drink, no wine with the wife. I know it's like not lifestyle friendly, but it's okay because I'm ridding myself of a lot of empty calories I don't need, toxins I don't need. And if you're someone who drinks multiple times a week, this will make a huge difference. You don't have to do it forever. I would say 30 days no alcohol, 30 days 2 drinks a week, 30 days no alcohol. You do that over the course of 3 months, I flat out guarantee that you will notice a massive change in your body. All right. Fat loss will become so much easier. In terms of where we get our foods from, it's so important to make sure that most of your food comes from healthy sources. Why? Because it's going to help you control your appetite. We're going to talk about something else, a super valuable tip that will help you control your appetite here in a second. But controlling your appetite is a game changer. That's why I like fasting, because it does teach you to push through boredom when you think it's hunger. And I've noticed my appetite control is way higher when I fast in the morning and I don't eat till middle of the day or later in the day even. If you're someone who really struggles with appetite, we want to do everything possible to control your appetite. So nutrient-dense quality foods, 1 ingredient foods, right? So get rid of the packaged crap, get rid of the stuff that comes in a bag or a can or whatever. Not saying you're sitting there eating nachos all day, but I think it's important that we start thinking about the quality of our food. The other thing is sleep. Okay, this is the game changer. I think sleep more than anything controls my appetite. So if I get a solid 7 hours every night, my appetite's pretty well under control. If I don't, I notice I get up and my cravings are nuts. All right. I'm going to talk about something controversial. So we're going to talk about hormones now. All right. And also some peptides and GLP-1. So a lot of people know about the semaglutide. If you're someone who is truly addicted to food and your life isn't hanging in the balance, you might want to consider consulting. We have doctors that are on our team that we work with that help all of our clients get fully optimized if they need it. It's not something we require, but it's something that you want to check. You want to know, what do your hormonal levels look like? Is your appetite under control? Is all of your internal systems under control? Do you have healthy levels of what you need to be a healthy human being? The GLP-1s, I'm not going to get into like crazy details here. I think there's an argument for some people to use them. What I've heard to be super successful with some people is microdosing some GLP-1s. All right. These appetite control peptides, semaglutide, retatrutide, like these things microdose. So you're not taking crazy high doses, which could be dangerous, that I've, just once again seen, heard. I'm not a doctor, so you're going to have to just take this as a guy who researched his stuff, who's been in the game for a decade and a half. But I think there's an argument to have some microdose approach, exciting new peptides. Now, at the end of the day, things like hormonal replacement therapy, TRT, that can be super valuable too. We have some super successful clients that have fixed their hormones and now their whole life has changed. They feel totally different, right? And so what I would do if I was starting over is I would make sure that my hormonal profile is super dialed in. From an internal perspective, if you have the internal engines operating smoothly, I'll tell you what, like it just makes a world of a difference. Okay, a world of a difference. We run a coaching system here. It's a team / one-on-one approach. So we call it the hybrid model. It's a lot different than what you've probably experienced before. Our mission is to help guys lead their families through health and fitness. We want you to feel confident with your shirt off. We want you to get your body to a place that you're proud of how you look. You have an appearance that you're happy to show up in any room. You feel good in clothes. You feel good at the beach. You feel just deeply connected to who you are as a person. And, part of that is not just one-on-one coaching, but we need to surround you with other winners. So one thing I would do differently is I wouldn't isolate. All right. If I was trying to do this again, I would get surrounded by support. I want a team. If I have a successful career, I probably didn't get there on my own. So why would I think that it's going to be any different when it comes to my body? Why would you think that, oh man, the path to success over here was hiring a team, mentorship, accountability, to get more money or to be a better dad or be a better husband? I got all those things. That's what got me there. But man, I want a six pack. All these years I haven't got there. And now I'm going to do it on my own. It just doesn't make sense, right? Trust me when I say the most successful people on the earth network. They surround themselves with other winners. What gives them more opportunity, right? So like our team isn't just about, oh, get you ripped. It's like, what can you do with your body? Once you're ripped, what do you want to do next? Now you got this healthy body. Like what's next? So it's nice to have a community of other people just like you who are in this fight against unhealthy lifestyles to come together, raise each other's standards up, man. Like let's support each other. I want to see you win more than I care about winning myself, right? Because when you win, I win. It's why I do these YouTube videos, right? It's why I do these podcasts. It's why I do all these things that help you because I want to see you win. And I know when you win, I win because your success is going to motivate me and vice versa, right? So I would surround myself with a lot of positive influence. I wouldn't try to do it on my own. There's so much more I could share here. I would alter phases of aggressive fat loss with phases of more moderate fat loss. So I'd probably start with an aggressive phase just because I want to get you motivated. I want to be motivated, right? So I want to see the scale come down. I'd probably, do some fasting. I do more steps. I wouldn't train more necessarily, but I would control my food. I might even alter periods of, super low calorie with more moderate calorie deficit. And once I'm in the groove, once I'm seeing the first, 5-6 pounds of fat come off, then I might move to a very sustainable phase for a while just to make sure that I don't go back to what I was doing before. I don't burn out. All right. So these altering phases of aggressive, moderate, can really help you stay in rhythm and not lose motivation and also not get burnt out, right? Because fat loss is a sport. You have to treat it like a season. You have to be mentally prepared, and then you got to get out of it, right? You don't want to be in fat loss forever. That's another thing I want to mention here. You definitely don't want to be in fat loss phases forever. You want to be in it for a period of time to get the fat off and then move to a metabolic repair phase where we're adding calories back in, then maybe building some muscle, then a performance phase, then maybe we want to get super shredded phase. We want to rotate phases like seasons of the year. You don't want to be stuck in winter or summer all the time, even though, don't get me wrong, I love summer. I'd probably want to be in summer year round, the best weather on earth. But when it comes to fitness, we don't want to get pigeonholed into one approach forever. We want to get out of it and we want to get the most out of it and then get to the next thing. Can always come back, right? I do a fat loss phase every single year. I do a photo shoot phase every single year. I do performance phases a couple times a year. I do a muscle building phase at least once a year. These are short phases, but they keep my body healthy. They keep me from getting burnt out. And they ultimately help me stay permanently transformed, which is what I'm after for you. So on that note, we're going to wrap it up. This is how I would go from 30% body fat to 10% body fat. If you want to take the next step in your journey, I'd invite you to have a discovery call with me or my team. You can find all the information below. We work with guys who make 100K or more per year. We're definitely not the guys who are trying to flash the Lambos in your face or the Rolexes or who wear, the Gucci shirts and all that stuff. I'm just telling you, our program requires an investment, at least on the coaching side. We have lower cost programs once you have a discovery call. If we're not in your price range, then we have programs that would be maybe more suited if you're trying to save costs. But for the guys who truly want to level up, who are like, I want the body that turns heads. I want to be at the beach and people go, wow, that dude is in shape. Holy crap. I want my wife taking pictures of me like, babe, flex your abs. Like, holy crap. If that's you, then you're going to need to invest. There's no way around it, man. Like, you're not going to take it serious if you're looking for cheap. So if that's you, this is my pitch. Go book a discovery call. No pressure. Let's just see if we're a mutual fit. True transformation is for the guy who wants to lead himself and his family through health and fitness. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of getting healthy and fit. And if you want to buy back your time, if you want to save hours and hours per month, have more quality time. So not only save time, have more quality time and save yourself the headache of trying to do it on your own. Check out our program below. Go check it out. See if you like what I have to say in the video. Book a discovery call and we'll talk to you on the other side. So remember, life moves fast. Time is going by quick. Go make it count. I'll talk to you soon. Josiah Novak, thetruetransformation.com. Peace.